Like, maybe I'm too woke, but I don't find the quarter zip shit funny because I also didn't find it funny a couple years ago when all those black men put on suits and then stood around in suits. I don't understand what men in general, but especially black men's obsession is with defining themselves by their clothing and not really actively doing any. It's not deeper than just like, well, we can put on suits. I can also put on a suit. What is the point that you're trying to make here? Like, it's like costume. Like, let's dress up as the social idea of success or productivity or decent, productive human being. I don't even understand what y'all are trying to communicate to us. Y'all are constantly like essentially dressing up as white men. Like, that's kind of the underlying idea. Suits, quarter zips, like associating yourself with this like stereotypically white style. Like, maybe I'm too like associating yourself with this like stereotypically white style. Hello? Do y'all not see how that's, one, offensive to you as a black person, upholds white supremacy, but is also reductive of your like humanness? I don't know. It's like everything all the time with them. Nothing latches. Like associating your...
Whoa. So much to unpack here. Jesus. Calling out black men for wearing suits, saying that they are appropriating whiteness while having blonde hair in your head as a black woman is madness, is nuts, is crazy. The hypocritical standards of today's age are nuts. Oh my God. So let's unpack this. This woman says that the new quarter zip trend, which is essentially a bunch of young guys dressing up like respectable older guys, dressing in the quarter zip, putting the suit on, putting the tie on, putting the collar shirt on, dressing like respectable people, which there's nothing wrong with that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And no, this is not appropriating whiteness no more than wearing a smartwatch is appropriating whiteness, no more than going to the grocery store is appropriating whiteness. That has nothing to do with that. If we get down to the logical side of it, yes, you are correct in one little small bit. Yes, suits did originate in England with, I believe, King Charles, if I'm not mistaken. But suits have been known to be a part of business attire since literally the dawn of the industrial age. This young lady is so miseducated and ignorant and hypocritical. It's almost embarrassing to just sit there and watch her say that. I am proud of the young black generation that's a part of the quarter zip trend. I think it's a great trend. Look, a long time ago in corporate America, I learned one thing. Dress for the part you want, not for the part you have. All right. So you got young guys dressing up like the part they want. They want to be CEOs. They want to be millionaires. They want to own golf courses and do all this fun, economically friendly stuff. They want this success. In order to be successful, you have to envision that. And part of envisioning that is dressing the part. It's not that these young black guys are so obsessed with how they look. Everybody is obsessed with how they look, okay? We live in 2025. People are generally obsessed with appearance. That's just how it is, man. But you can't fault these young guys for simply trying to look better. You know, would you fault Martin Luther King and all the people in the civil rights movement from when they wore suits during the marches and during the sit-ins and doing all these public meetings? Would you fault them for wearing suits? Would you say that they're appropriating whiteness? Do you know why they wore suits? They wore suits to garner the respect of the general public. All right. This has nothing to do with misappropriating your own blackness into something. What? Let me ask you this. Lady, what the hell would you rather them wear? Would you rather them wear a dashiki? Would you rather them go to Africa and bring back an entire dashiki and just wear that? Would you rather that they wear urban clothing? Would you rather they wear the jumpsuits? Would you rather they sag their pants? Would you rather they dress the part in your definition? Would you rather they dress more black? What is it to dress white? What is it to dress black? You see, it's statements like these that give a slippery slope to white supremacy. And the funny part is she called out white supremacy, saying that a young black man dressing in a suit is pushing white supremacy forward. That has got to be the dumbest shit I've heard all year. The dumbest shit I've heard all year. While she's sitting there with blonde streaks in her head. You can't make this shit up, y'all. You cannot make this up. This is hypocritical stuff at its finest. You can't make this up. And you know, this is one of the things that plagues our black community. I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the things that plagues the black community is whenever you have people trying to get better, trying to make themselves better, trying to do better, they often get accused of being white. This lady is so misguided, miseducated, and ignorant. She doesn't even realize the language that she's speaking comes from white people. You need to stop speaking English. You need to move to a different country, change the primary language that you speak, because you're dumb. You are literally speaking a language that comes from England. Like, how dumb can you be? You have to realize that the entire world was colonized. The entire world was colonized. Your ancestors, the ancestors of all these different countries, they were colonized. We live in a world that is the result of colonialism. All right? And things that have been passed down through generations aren't signs of white supremacy. They're literally different cultures experiencing each other and taking things and having those things moving forward. Dressing in a suit has nothing to do with white supremacy. Dressing in a suit has nothing to do with losing the person that you are. Dressing in a suit has nothing to do with hating yourself. And like I said, this is a huge problem. This is a huge problem because I see this all the time in the black community. Whenever there is a young black kid and he's smart, he's doing his thing, he's very articulate, he gets accused of being too white. By you saying that a well-dressed man is dressing white, you yourself are pushing white supremacy forward by associating whiteness with greatness. You see how that works? You see how that works? You see how much of an oxymoron this is? She says, you're dressing too well. You're dressing like a white person. Meanwhile, saying that dressing well is pushing white supremacy forward. This is just so hypocritical. It's so stupid. It's so brain dead. And yeah, shouts out to the younger generation. This may be one of the best things to come from Gen Alpha. This whole quarter zip trend. Look, you young cats, do your thing, okay? Dress like respectable young men. You're going to be viewed with more respect, not just from white people, from black people, from Mexican people, from Indian people, from Asian people. Everybody is going to respect you more. And it has nothing to do with you being black and has everything to do with you being well I could tell this young lady has never been to a stylist, has no idea what fashion is. Like, she's so lost. And it plagues my brain. It really plagues my brain because I think this is one of the biggest things that holds the black community back is people like this that associate greatness with whiteness. So she's accusing these young men of selling out, basically selling out because they would like to dress in a more proper manner. She doesn't see them in baggy jeans and jumpsuits and ski masks and shiesty masks or whatever you call them shits. No, she sees them in suits and says, that's bad. We got to do better. We got to do better because this is completely and utterly unacceptable. Completely and utterly unacceptable. If you see a young man walking around in one of these quarter zips, pull him to the side and say, you look good, man. I'm digging the fit. Give him a compliment. Do something to combat this negative way of thinking. All right. Because if we did this more, I guarantee you, if we dress like this more as a community, we're going to be a lot further. First impressions matter a lot. One of the best reasons why I think this is a great trend is because first impressions matter a lot. And when one of these young men walks up to anybody they meet for the first time, that's going to be the first impression. I saw this young man in a suit and a tie. This is a respectable young man. This is an intelligent young man. This is an articulate young man. That lasting impression is going to last on them. And guess what? When you dress a certain way, you feel a certain way. You exude yourself differently. When you dress more sophisticated, you act more sophisticated. You think more sophisticated. Your actions entail how you feel. If you dress like a bum, you're going to act like a bum. You dress like a hoodlum, you're going to act like a hoodlum. It's just that simple. All right. We are the mask that we wear at the end of the day. So big ups to these young men for having this trend and dressing like this. This is great. I want to see more of this, guys. I want to see more of this. All right. And as always, if you like what you see, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And I'll catch y'all next time. Peace.